North Carolina is weird. Don't get me wrong, it's also famously beautiful. But the point here is that despite being one of the consistently most rapidly growing states in the United States, famous for its beaches and mountains, home to the largest research park in the nation, making it a center of tech and biotech, home to the second largest finance center in the US, making it also a center of finance. On top of this, North Carolina was also the site of the first airplane flight. And I mean in the history of the world. The most visited national park in the entire country can be visited right here in North Carolina. Michael Jordan, of basketball fame, grew up and went to college at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. North Carolina is also home to many professional sports teams. And in addition to the aforementioned importance of tech, biotech, and finance, engineering and advanced manufacturing are also important industries in the state of North Carolina, as many companies and inventions originated in the state, such as Pepsi Cola, Vicks VapoRub, Hanes Brands, NyQuil, LabCorp, Krispy Kreme donuts, and much more. Despite all of this, and North Carolina's booming population, I feel that North Carolina often goes overlooked. And in my mind, this is in large part due to the fact that its population isn't centered around just one big city that draws people's attention to the state, as is the case in many states, such as Chicago in Illinois or Atlanta in Georgia. North Carolina instead has multiple focal points of interest rather than just one. It turns out that this is all actually a point in North Carolina's favor, but it's also something that makes North Carolina difficult to understand at first glance. Today, I'm going to help you to understand a bit of what makes North Carolina unique. I say a bit because there are multiple layers to look at to understand why North Carolina is the way that it is. By the way, this video is part of a series of snapshots that I do of metro areas that I produce in multiple languages. In this case, today's video is actually what I call a first slice of the Piedmont Triad, which is one of the most populous and fastest growing metro regions in North Carolina. This video is also the first entry in the series in both North Carolina and the United States. Previously, we have looked at Santiago de los Caballeros in the Dominican Republic. Do expect more videos on the Dominican Republic to come down the pipe, by the way. Each entry in this series is one of a series of telescoping peaks into a cross-section of a metro region, where we first zoom out before zooming in closer and closer, looking at different layers of the region in question as we go, before ending with some local culinary delights and ambiance to help you to gain an increasingly comprehensive understanding of the region in question with each video. That's to say, with each slice of the region that you enjoy. As to what exactly we're going to learn about today, as this is the first entry in this series in North Carolina, so we're going to start by learning just a little bit about the region where North Carolina is located, how fast it's been growing, where it's projected to end up across the course of the next 2 decades, and as the majority of North Carolina's population isn't clustered around just one city, like in many states, we're going to learn about how it is distributed instead. Then, we're going to focus in on the Piedmont Triad, also known as the Triad for short, which is a region that has been boasting an average of 20% growth in population each decade for almost 160 years now. That's from 1870 to the present. We're going to get a brief overview about the region before trying some local food. After that, we'll end with a bit of local ambiance. All right, y'all, let's get to it. First, did you know that the US government divides the nation into 4 regions for the purpose of conducting the national census? Those 4 major regions are the West, the Midwest, the Northeast, and the South. North Carolina happens to be located in the South. Most people, even in the United States, probably aren't aware of the fact that the South is the largest region by population, with an estimated approximately 132.7 million as of 2024, which means that the South constitutes 39% of the population of the United States of America. As to North Carolina itself, let's take a look at its population trajectory to get an idea of how the state fits into this puzzle that is the USA. While North Carolina was the 15th largest state by population in the year 1900, It surpassed Massachusetts, home to Boston, between 1975 and 1980, as it ascended to become the 10th largest state in the process. Between 2010 and 2015, North Carolina then rose again to ninth place, with projections showing that it will continue its rapidly ascendant rise, eventually surpassing Ohio, Illinois, Pennsylvania, and Georgia, as North Carolina skyrockets to become the fifth largest state over the course of the next 20 years, before continuing its rise from there. If the population is exploding in North Carolina, but, as mentioned at the beginning of this video, it's not centered around just one city, then where exactly is it located? Rather than being situated around just one city, North Carolina's population of 11 million people is more evenly distributed throughout the state, with somewhere around 70% of the state's population, so about 7.7 million people, as of 2025, living in the region formed by the three primary metro regions and the highways and railroads that connect them. This region is increasingly being called the Piedmont Urban Crescent. At the center of the Piedmont Urban Crescent lies the Piedmont Triad, the state's third most populous metro region. You might be wondering why the word Piedmont keeps coming up. Well, that's because North Carolina is geographically divided into three main regions. In the west, you'll find the mountains, specifically part of the Appalachian Mountains, the primary mountain range in the eastern United States. On the opposite side of the state, in the east, lies the coastal plain. And right in the center between these two is a plateau known as the Piedmont. Its name, Piedmont, means at the foot of the mountains in French. And this is where most of North Carolina's population lives. The Piedmont Triad is located primarily within the central Piedmont region, which gives it the first part of its name. The Triad in Piedmont Triad comes from it being a tri-city region, anchored by the three key cities of Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and High Point. As we mentioned, this region has seen a sustained population growth rate of 20% on average each decade for the past 155 years, from 1870 to today. Beyond that, the Piedmont Triad is also famous for Greensboro's important role in the civil rights movement, its historical strength in the furniture, tobacco, and textile industries, and for being home to many well-known companies. These include Volvo Group North America, Thomas Built Buses, i.e. school buses, Mack Trucks, Honda Aircraft Company, The Fresh Market, Cookout, Krispy Kreme Donuts, Wrangler, Hanes Brands, and many more. Of those points just brought up, I want to revisit one in particular. A significant factor in sustaining that growth for over a century was thanks to the furniture, tobacco, and textile industries based in the region. We'll cover this more in a future video, but for now, I will point out that along with globalization and other factors, these industries have declined in the USA, and this is true for this region. As a result, the region has diversified to include research, technology, and biotechnology. Indeed, education is a strong emphasis here. In fact, the area and the state are home to many colleges and universities, with 21 located in this region alone. And that's not counting community colleges, to be clear. While we've come to understand a bit about the economic drivers that have fueled the Piedmont Triad's sustained 20% growth each decade for 155 years, to truly understand a region's local economy, it often helps to make things more tangible, to experience them firsthand. And what could be more tangible and more representative of North Carolina's local economy than what locals genuinely experience every day? Their food. Specifically, we're going to take a look at what I view as a fast food take on North Carolina barbecue, a staple here. Let's get to it.
¿Qué piensas cuando piensas de la palabra barbecue? ¿Piensas en una salsa dulce, tal vez con un sabor agrio, ácido, algo así, que se usa para costillas o algún otro tipo de carne? Bueno, en los Estados Unidos la palabra barbecue, aunque existe esa salsa de barbecue que la gente usa como para costillas en la casa, hay varios tipos de barbecue en el barbecue. En los Estados Unidos proviene del sureste del país, que se llama el sur. Estamos aquí en Carolina del Norte en High Point y acabamos de buscar comida aquí desde el restaurante. Esta es la entrada. Se llama Country Barbecue Express. Y tengo aquí una muestra de las carnes que ellos tienen. Ellos tienen lo que se llama eh, barbecue, que para aquí hay dos tipos de barbecue en el estado de Carolina del Norte, mayormente. Em, y lo que distingue la comida de aquí es que se usa carne de cerdo en vez de, por ejemplo, carne de vaca en el barbecue de Texas o carne de pollo en Alabama. Eh, para la muestra, el día de hoy tengo tres costillas de cerdo, eh, lo que como el pernil, que es la carne principal, es el pernil de cerdo que se usa. Y luego tengo pollo barbecue también, voy a probar. Y aparte de todo eso, yo tengo eh, tres guarniciones y una salsa que nos dieron. La primera guarnición es coleslaw. Coleslaw es una ensalada de repollo que casi siempre se encuentra con barbecue aquí, especialmente en Carolina del Norte, que se lo usa para hacer sándwiches. Es muy bueno, pero yo no tengo un sándwich el día de hoy. Eh, Solo la carne. Tengo hash papis, que es una repita de maíz que se ve así. En este caso puede tener varias formas. Mira. Y tengo como la tercera guarnición. Ah, tengo sweet potato, como una batata de aquí. Una, literalmente significa papa dulce. Y yo tengo una guisada que solo tienen entre octubre y marzo en este restaurante. Es muy común que puede variar, eh, que se llama Brunswick Stew, la guisada. Ahora yo voy a probar, se ve muy bonito, acecha. Ahora, yo voy a probar primero la carne de ese pernil, carne de cerdo. Este se llama sliced. Ellos también tienen chopped y coarse chopped. Coarse chopped sería como trozos más grandes. Pero ese es sliced, entonces se ve así. Se quita muy fácil, es muy blandito parece. Mm, Huele muy bien, como tiene un poco de un olor a humo. Para hacer esto se lo cocina. Lo que distingue el barbecue de aquí, de los Estados Unidos, es que no es como cuando se cocina en la parrilla, se pone la carne encima del fuente em, como encima de la leña o encima del carbón. No es así, es que se lo pone al lado, entonces ese humo y el calor va indirectamente cocinando la cocina a través de muchas horas, como 6, 7, 8 horas, tal vez más. Entonces, así ese humo le va a ir entrando a la carne y deja una carne como muy blandito y le da para mí, un sabor muy bueno, muy rico. Lo voy a probar. Mm, Muy bien, tiene un sabor al humo, como yo dije, pero la carne está muy blandito, está muy jugosa. Yo voy a probarlo con el vinagre ahora, que huele a vinagre de manzana. Mm, Sabe también a eso, a vinagre de manzana, pero también es como que pica un chin chin y tiene un sabor como ácido, pero es un complemento a la carne. probar la costilla que tiene salsa por fuera. Eh, pero no. Está dulce, está buena, está blandita. Se saca fácil del hueso, la carne. Muy rico. Carne de pollo. Huele bien, sabe bien. Ok, ahora la carne de pollo. Huele bien. Eh, como la carne por fuera, la piel, se ve muy bonito. Como bien cocinado y que tiene el color de la salsa que estaban aplicando. Mm, está muy blandito, pero la carne de cerdo de los dos tipos sabe mejor para mí. Que como que ese, ese humo como le entró más a la carne de cerdo y le da sabor mejor que esto, pero donde tienen la salsa sabe muy buena y es un poco dulce. Parece que es muy parecido a la que usaron para las costillas. Ahora, cosa, el repollo de col, la ensalada de col, de repollo. Sabe muy bien, muy fresco. Tiene un poco de acidez también por el vinagre que usaron. Mayonesa que echaron también no sale muy fuerte el sabor. Sabe bien, sabe muy fresco, como dije, y es un buen complemento a la carne. Para mí, especialmente si se lo está usando como para hacer sándwiches que no tengo el día de hoy, pero sabe muy bien eh, la ensalada con eso. Ahora, hush puppy, buen sabor a maíz, como harina de maíz frita. Mm, tiene como una capa crujiente por fuera, está blandito por dentro. Y la cantidad de sal que echaron es como perfecto, me encanta así. Este es como uno de los mejores de esto que yo he comido en Carolina del Norte, creo yo. Muy impresionante. Mm, ujú. Yo podría comer como 10 de esos, seguro. Ah, también tengo este dulce aquí. Tiene un buen sabor para mí. Eso es también una especialidad de aquí. Té dulce en el estado. Té dulce, un té negro es un té negro dulce que se hace. Para mí esto sabría mejor si tuviera un chin de jugo de limón, el amarillo, o un trozo de eso adentro, que como que mejora el sabor, lo hace como más, le da un perfil de sabores más como complejo. Ahora la guisada tiene un sabor a guisantes que tiene dos tipos como de habichuela. Tiene una habichuela que se llama lima y tiene una arveja de la verde. Muy bien, tiene mucha carne, vegetales, papa, maíz, carne de cerdo. Mm, sabor a tomate, lo que se usa para hacerlo. Un poquito de un sabor a pimienta negra. Ahora lo que falta es el sweet potato. ¿Cuál es sweet potato? Yo pensaba que tal vez tendría un sabor, un olor, digo, como a canela, algo así, pero no. Este es muy bueno, muy rico. Está dulce, pero no demasiado. Y tiene como un sabor a especias, canela, em, azúcar moreno. Muy rico. Wow, me encanta esto. Entonces, los sweet potatoes y la carne de cerdo, y luego los hush puppies. Todo eso me encantó. La guisada me gustó, pero no era nada espectacular. Era como muy normal, tal vez como un 6 de 10. Si no lo han probado, se puede probar aquí, pero hay otros sitios donde tienen mejor. Luego, adentro, el restaurante estaba muy como moderno. Me gustó el ambiente y me gusta la comida. Si una vez estén aquí en Carolina del Norte, em, en High Point, aquí, cerca de la carretera 85, se puede encontrar comida rápida porque es express. Y para barbecue esto es express. No es como la rapidez de McDonald's, pero sabe muy buena la carne. Sabe muy buena la comida. Se los recomiendo. Y como yo digo, aprendiendo un idioma no es solo aprender el idioma, hay que aprender también de la cultura y la comida es una parte de la cultura que yo creo que a todo el mundo le encanta explorar. Pues ya.
All right, y'all. That about wraps it up here. Before we get to that local ambiance, let's just recap. In this first entry of a slice of the Piedmont Triad, we took a telescoping look at North Carolina as we first learned how North Carolina is one of the most rapidly growing states, with the state projected to continue its meteoric rise as it rockets up from ninth place to become the fifth largest state by population over the course of the next 20 years, before continuing its rise from there. We also learned how the majority of North Carolina's population isn't clustered around just one city, but rather is clustered around the Piedmont Urban Crescent, a region composed of the three primary metro regions in North Carolina and the highways and railroads that connect them. We then looked at the Piedmont Triad, a tri-city metro region anchored by Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and High Point. This region that once focused solely on furniture, textiles, and tobacco has seen impressive sustained growth over the course of the past 155 years. In recent years, it has diversified to include research, technology, and biotechnology. The region is home to a myriad of companies, universities, and more. We then took a look at some food from a local restaurant. And now all that's left is for us to enjoy some of that local ambiance after hitting that like button and subscribing for more content like this. Until next time, y'all take care now.